Nolé Marin is a groundbreaking fashion icon, go-to celebrity stylist, and television personality. He's been featured on the ABC reality series True Beauty and has been a favorite judge on multiple seasons of America's Next Top Model. He was the on-air creative director of Canada's Next Top Model and has been featured and fashion expert for TV Guide, E, and was a coach for MTV's #1 hit makeover show Made. Nole has been a regular contributing editor for major international fashion magazines, and his expertise has been featured on the Oscars, Golden Globes, Emmys, Cannes Film Festival, MTV Awards, and the Grammys. Nole has a select management agency called M22 for actors and models for the entertainment industry. Nole was elected president of the Fashion Alliance Network, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting emergent designers and advancing sustainable fashion. Wow, what a bio.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming.
What an honor to be sharing space with you today.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you both so much for having me here today.
So I guess to start it out, did you always know you wanted to be in fashion?
You know, I have always had the passion for fashion since I was very, very young. I used to look through magazines back in the day when we had wonderful things called magazines and beautiful glossy, thick books with beautiful models and designers. So my father and my father has passed, but my father used to tell me before I knew you were going to go into fashion, because when you were a little boy, you were always looking through magazines. And I would, even at a young age, my mom and I would pick my favorite models. And each month I would say, that's my favorite model. I don't remember who that was at the time. But then, as I got into being a teenager, I really fashion just completely grabbed me, and it took over everything in my life. And I was obsessed with models. I was obsessed with designers, obsessed with the beauty industry, the fantasy of fashion, something that we've really lost today, which is more, all inclusive and everything, kind of more, I hate to use the word generic. I really do miss the fantasy of what fashion was all about. So yes, it grabbed me.
I love that. What were your first jobs in the industry?
In this industry, my first jobs were doing people's closets, my friends' closets, my neighbors' closets in my building, and just like sorting through things. And then at a very young age, like at 13, I was a dog walker. And people don't know this. Yes, I was picking up poo-poo on the streets of New York City. Okay? Yes, I was going through high school. And I had a client, and she was a little bit of a large-sized woman, and she had a baseball jacket. And she says, I wish I could stud this jacket out. And I go, I have a studding machine. So I studded out one of her baseball jackets, and I ended up starting a studded collection. So I was doing shirts for her, scarves for her, and there was an incredible store on Madison Avenue. I think it was 66 in Madison, excuse me. And I think it was called Rita's Blue Elephant or Rita's Blue Tent. And I actually was selling jackets in there, studded baseball jackets, for a few years.
Oh my
So that was really my first entree into fashion.
Wow, that is so
amazing.
Cool. And
Yes.
an entrepreneur.
Yes.
You could say that, yes. I gave up walking the dogs and started studying out jackets.
I had heard that you got an early start. Like, you were really lucky in the beginning of your career working with Claudia Schiffer on VH1. Oh. What was that story? It was through a friend, right?
This story is comically legendary. And that's why when people say you need to fake it until you make it, baby, yeah, it's a true story here. So one of my best friends had just passed away. So I was a little bit on the depressed side. And my good friend Grazia Revenditi, who was a top makeup artist during this time in the 90s, she was head makeup key for Dolce, D&G, Moschino, Neil Barrett, Hornsteele, D Squared in Milan.
Wow.
And I would actually work with her backstage during the show seasons, organizing all the models. And that's how I got to know all these models really close and really quickly. I knew them by names, and we became friends. But how I got started into styling, she said to me, you should start styling. And I go, okay. My friend had passed away. My best friend, it was a girlfriend of mine, who was killed in a car accident, Claudia Franhul, and she was actually a beautiful pageant girl too, actually. Taylor probably doesn't know much about her, but I'll have to tell you off record about her. And she passed away, so Gracia said, Nole, get into styling, you have great taste. So I said, okay. So we did our first test. And then literally like a month later, I said, I got to start testing, building this portfolio. I get a call because she was in Italy. She goes, you need to call this lady tomorrow named Layla Calahan. She's Claudia Schiffer's personal assistant at Firefly, which is Claudia's Firefly, her company. I'm like, okay. She goes, you're going to do some award show. I'm like, okay. So I call Layla. She goes, come down to Fashion Cafe's office. Because Claudia had an office inside the Fashion Cafe building, which Fashion Cafe was kind of like the Hard Rock, but of fashion back in the day. I don't know if you ladies know anything about it, but it was just like the Hard Rock Cafe, but all about fashion and models. And I went down there, and she goes, "You're going to dress Claudia Schiffer for the VH1 Fashion Awards." And I'm like, "Oh, I've seen that show." It's like it was all about models and designers and all about fashion, and it was an incredible award show that lasted a few seasons. So I said, "No problem." So I had to start calling all the showrooms. So she gave me a letter, and I knew how it worked because I did work in different showrooms. So I dealt with stylists. I worked on fashion. I worked backstage at fashion shows. So I knew the background of the industry, but did I ever actually style before? No. So I had to fake this, and I said, "This is an opportunity." And even Grazia says, "This can be your opportunity." And I pulled Versace, I pulled Valentino, I pulled Dior, I pulled all these top designers. And I remember the day the clothes sent to her hotel. She goes, Layla says, "Nole, stop the showrooms from sending clothes. We have racks and racks of clothes. You did too good of a job. This is ridiculous. You can't do this." And then when I met Claudia, she says, "Nole, I cannot believe how many clothes you pulled for me. My other stylists never pulled so many clothes. You did such a good job." And I remember I had never did a fitting with a model before. And here's my first fitting with one of the most glamorous, beautiful glamazons ever, Claudia Schiffer. Anyway, I end up putting her in this incredible yellow John Galliano kimono style gown, a dress that Kim Kardashian actually just wore the day before at the Met Gala. So
Oh,
30
wow.
years later, this dress still has a life. And I
Wow.
actually posted on my Instagram last week how Kim Kardashian is wearing the exact same dress that Claudia Schiffer wore that I put her in for the VH1 Fashion Awards. And we put these big orchids in her hair, a very power red lip, and I put a little gold by Valentino. But when she went on the red carpet, she never received more attention, and she was voted like number one dress that night. So she pulled me aside that night and said, "We need to talk. I really think you should be my stylist." And I'm like, "Okay." I didn't know what she really meant by that. This was still all pretty new to me. I'm like, "All right, we can do this." And Gratch's like, "Good, it's working." I'm like, "All right." So she had to go, I think, to Paris because she was working with L'Oreal. She came back, and I met her like 5 days later. She was living with David Copperfield in the Galleria in this huge apartment, like 8,000 square feet on top of the entire world, it seemed like at the time. She goes, "You did such a good job. I want you to be my stylist. You'll have L'Oreal, Fashion Cafe, Bulgari, any event that I do from Oscars, Golden Globes, da da da, you will dress me." I'm like, "Hmm." She goes, "What's your day rate?" I'm like, Grachi was with me. I'm like, she goes, I don't remember what Grazia said. And then she said, "Oh, your day rate will start at 2,500 a day." I thought I almost passed out when I heard that number because I was making like $100 a day. You know what I'm trying to say? So it was like hallelujah moment. And I did such a good job, but I literally learned from trial and error. Those first few weeks were so tough and rough. And it just was, hard work. When you are really hungry at something, you do. I mean, it wasn't even work. I enjoyed every second of it. I was up at 3 in the morning calling Europe, and back in the day we had fax machines. It was not emails or computers, which would have been so much easier. So getting up at like 2 in the morning, doing all the faxes because I was trying to make sure that 9 o'clock in the morning the Paris showrooms were getting it or the Milan showrooms were getting it, and then receiving the faxes when the clothes shipped in. It was such a different time. And I never felt it was work. I just enjoyed every minute of it, and those are some of those glorious moments really creating the recipe of who I am, the hard work that it took to really dig in and learn from the trial and error, never letting no stop me. If there was a no, there was a yes, three stores down or over the top of the hill. And I did so many incredible things with her from Oscars, Golden Globe, Cannes Film Festivals, L'Oreal, Citroen cars, and she really gave me one of my most epic journeys in life. And Claudia Schiffer, or Grazie Remenditi, and Claudia Schiffer really opened up the doors for fashion for me to become an international star.
Wow.
That is amazing and
Yeah.
so
Yes,
inspiring.
That is so cool. I just feel like you painted such a beautiful picture of like how glamorous
it
fashion
was.
was in 90s and 2000s New York. Like so
It's
cool.
amazing. It really was. Fashion then was really, it was a private club. They did not let everyone in. So when you were in, you were special. You were selected. They were very, very, and there was an elite crowd. Now, going back now, people say it was wrong and this and that. But back then, that's how things were. Life was a different, I would say, a different temperature then. There's uniforms that models had to wear. There were diplomas that you had to, there was a diplomacy that you had to create and be. And it was just a whole different time. Yes, I think now it's much more open, it's much more easy. You do one editorial, you're a celebrity stylist. It wasn't like that. You had to have a roster of at least, 8 to 10 celebrities before you can call yourself a celebrity stylist. Now you do one person, they say, "Oh, you're a celebrity stylist." Like, oh, I don't even want to be called a celebrity stylist. I like to be called image creator. So I like to create an entire image, which is from the hair, the makeup, to the personality, to the aura. Because what makes someone stylish is not what you wear, but it's from the inside out that pours out, that gives you that energy and gives you that je ne sais quoi, that aura of magic that you have. That's when the clothes come to life. Because the clothes will not come to life until you know how to wear the clothes. Don't let the clothes wear you, but you wear the clothes.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah. Really love that.
It was interesting when you were talking about how Kim K is wearing or recently wore that dress the same dress
And
from 30 years ago. And you
it
had
may be
talked,
the same exact style dress. I don't know if it's the exact
or like
same one,
same
but yeah.
style, yeah. And you had talked about the importance of being an expert on both the history and the future of fashion. And I feel like that kind of solidifies that theory,
Thank
like being
you.
knowledgeable about the current.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think fashion is knowing how to work it. And people these days have to understand where fashion came from, knowing the history of the designer, knowing the history of the silhouette, the style, the cut, and really where you're going with it and seeing how it can work for today and tomorrow. What really makes a style icon is basically being stylish for decades. It's not like, oh, she's wearing something hot for this minute. That when people ask me, "Oh, what should I wear this season?" I go, "Well, don't follow the trends too much because not everyone is going to look great in those trends. But take maybe the color, take the silhouette, maybe take the accessory. Just take one, maybe two little things and add it to your wardrobe." I love to have uniformal looks that you create, and then you can build upon top of those things. So I think everyone needs to realize, know your body, know who you are, be proud of it, no matter what size, shape, color, whatever, and really make that work for you. And when you have that power and know what makes you look good, you are definitely going to be a star.
I love that.
I'm binging In Vogue right now, and listening to you talk reminds me so much of this. Have you seen it? The documentary. I think it's on Disney or Hulu. It's called
Mm.
In Vogue, and they cover all of that. It's basically style and fashion.
Oh,
It's
was it
90s.
a
It's
few
all the
years ago?
what was it?
Was it like 2 years ago, maybe?
I don't know. I just found it. I'm binging it right now. And it covers like all of the designers. They're talking about Versace, Anna Wintour is on there, and it's just really highlighting and documenting it's so much of what you're saying right now. I'm like, oh my God, you would love it. You have to watch it.
I have to find. Text me later what it is. I'll
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah, I will.
Yeah, it reminds me when you were talking about understanding the history and where everything comes from. Like, fashion really is art, and it reminded me of that one like monologue from The Devil Wears Prada, where she's like,
Right,
"Oh, you think you're just wearing that blue sweater?" And she gives her the
right.
whole entire history
Oh,
and
Yes.
backstory of
Cerulean
that.
or something
Like,
like that. Yeah, that's so true. I think that was genius.
I
yeah,
love that line. And it worked. It made her like understand and appreciate fashion. Then she went
yeah,
and studied
Right,
it and was like, oh, okay.
correct.
I'm not special
Fashion
for trying to not be
fashion is
fashionable.
power.
yeah.
Hmm. Fashion is power.
Yeah.
We wear these clothes as an armor. We wear these clothes as an extension of who we are, And it can say so many different things. It could say, I'm sexy. It could say, I'm powerful. It could say, I'm salacious, and that's a nice way of saying slutty, or we could say anything we want. So when we put our clothes on, we are we are wearing something, an armor, to express something to the world. So people really need to understand that too. What we wear is expressing something, and we really want to make sure that we're expressing the right statement to the world.
Agreed. Can we please get into the juicy America's Next Top Model topic?
Okay,
Yes.
Can we jump into that? You were one of the judges. Tell us all of the tea.
Oh my gosh, we've been talking a lot about the tease of this documentary. I think, Top Model was a very interesting. That really was. That was a complete. Um, it just happened. What I mean was, I met Jay Manuel in Jamaica. We were doing an editorial for a few days with a photographer. And we were with like three different models. We were going through Negril to Port Antonio. We went from one end to the other of Jamaica. And I think Jay had to get off early because he had a job in New York. And then when we reconnected and we went down to Puerto Rico, we really kind of tightened our friendship. I was working a lot with Hugh Jackman and Ricky Martin and a lot of other celebrities at the time. I was traveling around kind of the states of New York and LA a lot and Miami. So I remember my mom was saying, "There's this show your friend is on." And I go, "What friend?" She goes, "Your friend Jay." I go, "What? You're on a show? What talking about a show?" She's on this model show with that Tyra. I'm like, "Oh, really? Really? He's talking about." So I remember I called Jay, but my mom kept telling me on this TV show, and he goes, "Yeah, I want to talk to you about it." So like a month or two later, I never saw the first season. I just heard about it from my mom. So I remember he goes, "Yeah, this Tyra has a show called Tomorrow." I go, "Yeah, I think she was saying something about it one day, or because I was working with Claudia Schiffer, Victoria's Secret, and he was doing Tyra, and he goes, "Come over to my house so you can see it." So I went over his house and I saw a few episodes. I go, "This is funny. Oh, this is okay. This is cute." He goes, "We're about to shoot season two, and would you style one of the episodes?" I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And he started telling me the treatment about going to be, I forget the name of the photographer, very surreal, like in water and all this chiffon. And I go, "Well, how are they going to, where are we going to get this water? We're shooting in a pool?" He goes, "No, we're going to shoot in this big fish tank." I go, "A fish tank?" But yeah, there's this aquarium in Brooklyn, and it's a shark tank. And they're gonna take out the shark. I go, "Oh, it'd be better if we left the shark in there with the girls." I was joking. So anyway, and he goes, "Oh, by the way, do you know a heterosexual photographer?" And that is like an accent. I go, "Well, yeah, my friend Nigel Barker is my ex-model. He's a photographer and he has an English accent. He's very cute." So I introduced him to Jay, and then Jay goes, "He's perfect." So he introduced him to Tyra, and and that's how Nigel Barker got on Top Model. And anyway, so when we did the first shoot, it was in this fish tank, and it was hysterical. And I go, "What are we doing? Like, this is not the class that I'm used to, but okay." And I go, "You know what? I don't know what's happening, but let's just have fun with it." I didn't really think about it. I didn't really think it was going to go anywhere. It was so new, and that no one, in reality, was really, really new then. I think there was Big Brother, and I think it was Real World, and I think that was it. And I think then American Idol, and then this show called Top Model. But it's very, very new. So then when they asked me to come on and keep doing it, I did it. Everyone kind of knows the backstory how I didn't get the finances because closed the accounting. But that's such an old story. Let's try to get you a new story out of it. We ended up just doing it, and we had so much fun. And I said, "Okay, we can continue." But everyone told me not to do this thing called reality. It's going to ruin your career. You're never going to be taken serious. People are never going to see you're a real stylist. And I kept saying to myself, "Well, why?" It's like I didn't see it as such a negative that everyone else saw. I go, it's a TV show, and I kept saying, "Who's going to really watch it? It's not even on a major network. Like, it's not that big of a deal." I had no clue that it was going to be this monstrous, huge show. I didn't realize really the impact it was going to have on my life and my career. And I think I'm glad that I didn't know, and I'm glad that I just went with it and just said, "Let's just have fun with it." Um, After the first episode I was on, and I do tell people this story, We were at Jay's house looking at the watch party, and I was like, oh wow. And when I watched myself on TV, it was really surreal because I didn't feel nervous. I go, oh okay, that's me. Like, all right. And I didn't really think of anything, you know? So I remember the next morning I had a little black and tan Pomeranian called a Remington at the time. And I think I had my Nokia phone and I was walking him. I don't know who I was talking to, maybe my mom or maybe my assistant. And there was a McDonald's like 3 blocks down from my house. And I'm walking by the McDonald's, it's probably around 9 in the morning. And this is a true story, 3 or 4 kids were running out, yelling my name, saying my name, Nole, Nole. And no one really could say my name unless I told it to them a few times. Like, well, how do you say your name? I go like, no lay, like no sex, no. Oh, I got it. So these girls were running out of the McDonald's saying my name. And I'm like, are they? And they're like running, and they're looking at me. I'm like, I saw you last time on the top model, top model. I'm like, is this for real? And I go, is there a camera? I thought there was a joke. I thought it was a prank. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. And I kind of was a little freaked out. I was like, what the hell is this happening? So I hung up the phone and I started walking. I go, what is this? Like, people are yelling my name. And then I remember I called Jay and he goes, yeah, that's going to start happening to you. I go, no, you know, happening. Literally like 5 days later, Jay Manuel, Jay Alexander, and I were in Gucci on Fifth Avenue, and we were shopping. I don't know, buying little stuff, and we were walking out of Gucci, and literally these people started mobbing. This is a true story too. They were mobbing us, like they were running up to us, and that's the first time I had to sign an autograph outside Gucci. And I'm like, autograph? Like, what is going on? Like an autograph? Like, and Jay Alexander goes, girl, you better get ready. I'm already used to this. And I'm like, what are you guys talking about? This is crazy. Like, it was just like so surreal. I'm like, is this for real? Like, I mean, people watching this show, like, okay. So I realized a few weeks into it, oh, this is bigger than I thought. Oh, this is like then people were asking us to go on red carpets. Oh, okay, like it was just so weird. It was like so bizarre because I was always working behind the scenes and working with the celebrities, working with huge celebrities. I mean, I've worked with so many amazing celebrities. I never considered myself a celebrity like that. And I still never will should think of myself like that. Now reality stars think they're bigger than most actors, which is hysterical, and they demand so much. Um, it was just such an incredible beginning. It was so new, it was so fresh, and coming with opened eyes. I think was the best way to be. Um, there was no thought of, oh, I'm going to be famous, or I got to, you know, there was no social media back then. There was no deals with marketing or strategizing how to market yourself for things like that. It was just an incredible time, and I'm really glad that I was at the groundbreaking beginning of it because it was a lot of fun, and it was very exciting.
That's so amazing that you
Yeah.
like stumbled into fame.
I know. No, that's
It was
so
crazy.
funny.
I never thought of that. I was like, who would ever expect? I mean, you would never. It was really stumbled into it. It really was. It was hysterical.
How did that impact you? Like, did you embrace it or were you like, whoa, wait,
I
hold on?
embraced it. So I mean, I never got lost in the soup of it as like, oh, I'm famous, I'm fabulous about it. Because I mean, again, I was working with mega celebrities, like mega actors and musicians and icons and legends and so I always looked up like those were celebrities. We were reality stars. So I was like, oh, that's not, and back then they also let you know, oh, you're a reality star, you're not a real star. Like I said, these days, reality stars are as big as sometimes top actors
Yeah.
and movie stars and singers. Back then, there was that difference. But I mean, I remember we were doing like upfront and Tracy Ellis Ross would be like, "Oh, girl, I love you on Top Model," or when like Queen Latifah. This freaked me out when Queen Latifah came up to me at a pre-Oscar party with at Paris. It was for Paris Hilton in the Hills. I don't know what house it was, and Queen Latifah came up to me and goes, girl, I like what you're doing. And I'm like, is that Queen Latifah talking to me? Like, I love Queen Latifah. So, like, when people start to recognize me and stuff, it's like, this is really crazy. Like, it's like so fun. I go, people really watch this show. But I really understood the power of the TV when like when I was doing a lot of outside work for Vogue, Condé Nast. So like I would host parties for like Daisy Fuentes had a collection. I think she still does. I think she did. And since they wouldn't feature her stuff inside the magazine, but she was advertising for the magazine, they had to do big events for her. So like hosting events for her and did big events in Santa Monica, actually by the Ferris wheel. We did this huge fashion show. And then they had me, someone from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy, I think the guy who was the food expert, and then there was someone else they had on HGTV. We would go like Texas, Florida, Los Angeles, like four major states, hold big like weekend events inside big shopping malls, and my day rate was insane. It was like first class
Yes.
accommodations, and my day rate was like $10,000 to $12,000 a day for 2 and 3 days. I was getting insane paychecks, you know, just from Condé Nast in one year. I was making ridiculous money. So I'm like, okay, now I understand the power of the stardom in this TV. I kind of like it. I like it. Okay, I like this now. So I understood what was going on. So and also, I was working in fashion for so many years. No one outside of fashion knew my name, and now all of a sudden people were running up to me, knew my name inside and out, and asking for autographs. And my salary went from a very nice salary to like, wow, you know. So I saw the power of the TV. I saw what it could do, and I did like that. I do like that. I do miss that. So yeah, I can see how people can get caught up into the. Then social media kind of happened later on, like 8 years later, I think. But I was already off the show by that time, and I was only on the show for 2.5 seasons. I really wasn't on for a long time. And that's why I'm still so surprised because there's other judges that followed me that were on for 4 seasons, 5 seasons. But and I'm very honored and blessed that they always call me back. I guess I was, part of that, original, recipe that really brought the show to life. So they always, include me, and I'm very grateful for that. And again, it's a big part of my DNA now, of my life and my history, and I'm very proud of it. Yes, there's things that we had said on the show that unfortunately aren't correct at this time now, but something I'm saying right now is not going to be correct in 20 years because things revolve and change and life changes. So we're never going to be politically correct because politics change, life changes, things change. So every 10 years, there's going to be some diabolical change in the world that someone said something wrong, but it was fine to say it back then. So nothing was ever done in harm or malice to really hurt anybody. And I hope everyone realizes that it was a reality show. They wanted sound bites. They wanted it to be funny. They wanted it to be snarky. They wanted me and Janice to fight with each other. Meanwhile, I admired Janice to death. She was like one of my favorite models. But I couldn't let people know that. Meanwhile, I was like, oh my God, she's amazing. But you look old. You look this way. You look that way. So there's all that funny stuff.
That is hilarious. So I have to ask because I know you were right next to Tyra during the most iconic top model scene ever. I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. What was that
Right.
like to be in the room during that?
That was very scary.
Yeah.
That was just insane because Tyra never lost her cool. She was very put together. She was a very powerful businesswoman, incredibly beauty. I mean, an incredible, beautiful woman. I loved her raw, natural, no makeup, and just her cornrows. And she was a beautiful, sexy woman. But back to the story of her, that was so unbelievably bizarre because we were just sitting there. And, if you saw it, she came off very somber and the way she was. And all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, it's like a cat meow or a lion's roar. And you're like, what is going on here? Like, wow. It was just like, it was shocking. And it was scary because it really echoed inside the chambers of the judging hall. And you're like, where is this coming? There was a lot of, I don't want to say anger, hurt, anger. And all I said was, something is ticking in Tyra's mind and in her soul that she's reflecting her insecurities on this girl, or she saw something in her and she sees her disbeliefs and her hardship. And there was a lot more said. And like I said, we will never, none of us want to repeat. Tyra went a little too deep on this girl. She started to go too personal on things. about her that, it was just uncalled for. But I think she was trying to get a reaction out of her, but it didn't work. And it was kind of hurtful, the things that she was saying, like, we won't even go there. But and no one wants it. It was just too much. It was just too much. And it was a very breaking point because I think it really hurt. Like I said, something that she saw in this girl, she was just on herself, and it flipped her switch, and she exploded. And it was very scary to see and hear and be in that room at that moment.
I think she did say that in the documentary as well. Like they asked her
Oh,
about it,
did
and
she?
I think she didn't go deep into it, but I do think
She didn't want to go deep in that whole documentary at all, though. That was
I saw, but I think I remember her kind of saying like it was a little more personal to her, like she saw herself. I don't want to misquote her, but that was
right.
the energy, like the essence of it, at least that I got from it was like she kind of saw herself in her. She was disappointed because she had invested so much, and she just was mad that she was getting in her own way, which,
Yeah.
that was her perspective, and for everyone else that was watching, it felt a little different than that.
Yeah, it was just very scary. And, she turned around, like people don't know this happened. She turned around and came and sat right next to me. And I'm like, now, oh, sorry. I go, now she's sitting next to me and I'm supposed to look at her? Like, I'm not even want to look at her, so I'm afraid of her right now. It's like, and I remember it said, you okay? She goes, yeah. Yeah, and they're like, okay, we can. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I remember like that was so weird. It was just very weird, and it was just a very. She had a breakdown to some reason, and the next week we had every freaking lawyer on set. It was crazy. It was like, what's going on? I go, something must have happened. So there definitely was some ramification that happened after, but after that, she didn't have a breakdown anymore after that, but that was scary.
Yeah.
And I guess it was iconic TV moment because everyone says that.
Yeah.
And every podcast, every interview, I mean, and again, at that time they go, did you know that this is going to be such an, no, how would you know that? It was crazy. It was like an explosion. No one could ever expect that was going to happen. And who knew that it was going to translate 20 years to be one of the most iconic TV moments? Like, no. So I had no clue. How would you know? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely. I mean, I had a great time. I had some bad moments on it with the payments, but you know what? I loved it. And I will never regret my time on Top Model. I'm very blessed to have been on that show. It helped carve a whole new dimension of my life. And of course, I would do it again.
I want to see your reality show. That's what we need. The Nole show.
I think we need to do Daddy Warbucks Nole story of a reality show. Let's do it.
That sounds fun.
That would be amazing.
A story of your agency.
Yes.
We should do something like that. We need to create a reality show about me going through the world, helping kids and building their dreams and making things happen, and let's see what can happen.
Yes.
I love that because it seems like it's a combination of all of the other shows you've already done because it's so authentic to you.
Yeah.
To be on Made and like creating someone's dream from scratch, but then on Top Model and you're using your fashion expertise. I feel like if you just had a Nole show, it would be a combination.
Perfect.
Well, let's put that in the universe, baby.
We're putting it in the universe.
Yes, we're manifesting.
It's going to happen.
I gotta foresee it. So yeah, we gotta put it out there now.
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks to you, ladies. Thank you very much.
Tell us what it was like to be a coach on MTV's Made and how that came about.
Oh, well, this is an incredible story. So there's an incredible, he is head of New Faces. He was I forget where he's at Lions. He's at the Lions agency now. His name is Kwok. Incredible man, genius in the industry, kind of a legend within himself. He's one of the best new face scouts in the industry. He's found some of the biggest supermodels in the industry. He actually referred me to this show called Made. He called me up. He goes, Nole, I referred you to this show called Made. I knew you'd be the perfect person. I'm like, okay, thanks, Kwok. And I had met Kwok just recently, a few months before, at like a model convention, because I was scouting for a few agencies at the time. So Made asked me to come down to the building on Broadway and 45th Street. And they go, have you ever seen this show called Made? I go, no. Again, I'd never seen any of these TV shows that they asked me to be on. It's so straight, right? So I'm like, okay. So they go, we want you to make a model. I'm like, oh, okay, that's easy for me. And they go, you're going to go to Atlanta. I'm like, okay, well, how am I going to do that? They go, we'll pay for you. You go to Atlanta. So it's going to be like a 8 weeks, 8 weeks shooting. So you go down to Atlanta for like 5 days, come back to New York for 12 days, go back down for maybe 4 days. Be like every 12 to 14 days, you'll go down for a few days. I'm like, okay, fine. They didn't really tell me much about the boy, and they go, "You're going to go with one guy and a camera guy, and he's going to shoot you." It was very homemade, and I'm like, "Oh, this is very different." Coming off top model with like 5 to 6 cameras following you and everything. I'm like, "Okay, but let's do it." The rate was basically nothing, but it was over the summer. I'm like, "I can do this." I remember they sent me down to Atlanta. And like the day before I leave to Atlanta, they send me my package of the boy. Girl, he was like a 6'2", about 60 pounds overweight, long, like punk rock kid, had no way he could be a model. I'm like, what the heck did I sign up for? So I remember I get to Atlanta and they put me in am I in Buford? Atlanta. And I'm staying literally on like a strip mall. It was like the Waffle House, the Red Roof Inn, the Quinton Inn, like all these like little cheesy hotels, and like an Olive Garden. And I'm like, where? I'm up here for 5 days. I'm gonna lose my mind, right? So I remember and the camera guy goes, "You're gonna meet him tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. You're gonna go to his house and blow a whistle. I forget, and like you're gonna wake him up." And I'm like, "Are you sure?" They go, "Yeah, the parents are coming." I'm like, "Okay." So I remember I meet him, and he's so tall. He's like 6'4". He was so overweight, and it was crazy. And I had to transform this kid, Fonzie, into a model and they said it was 6 to 8 weeks. So it was like, and we did it. And he lost about 30 pounds. We got him into a trainer. I gave him model lesson. Did he come to New York? No, we did a photo shoot down there, and we just had the time of our life. I hated Atlanta that first trip. I ended up falling in love with Atlanta at the end of my journey. From that, I met all these young girls, and these young girls kept asking for my social media handle for something called MySpace. I'm like, what the heck is MySpace? So I came back and I was working with my assistant at the time, Tony Tung, who was working for me, who now is one of the head PR people over at Bravo and she handles some of the biggest shows on Bravo. She goes, let me open up a MySpace account. From that MySpace account, I ended up finding the number I found no matter what they changed that Wikipedia. The fashion industry knows Nolé Marin found Sean O'Pry, the international supermodel who's voted the number one model. I found him. The Wikipedia, you could pay any PR person to change it. The industry knows I found him. And that's how I found Sean O'Pry, was to going down on that first trip for Fonzie. And that show was rated so highly that they asked me to keep coming back. And I went back like 4 or 5 more times. And I was voted like the number one maid coach in the homemade saga. So I was very honored and I always loved maid. It was so much fun working with these young kids with these crazy aspirational dreams of being whatever they wanted to be. And it was a ton of fun. And I really enjoyed my time working at MTV and working on Made. And I do miss those shows because they were a lot of fun. That show was a lot of fun.
That sounds amazing
Yeah.
and hilarious.
Yeah, it was fun. We did so many crazy things. I made one guy into a news reporter. I think his name was Josh. He wanted to be a news anchor, but we brought him to New York. And I said, being a news anchor is just not spilling the news. It's knowing the history of the designers, knowing the history of the stylist, and really like showing him what it's about and knowing how you have to translate onto film. So I worked with him. We did so many things. It was just incredible. And I loved working with these young kids trying to like fulfill their dreams. Fonzie has become one of the biggest. Um, uh, he's like a hard rock singer. He's like has multi-million fans. He has Lamborghinis and Ferraris. He lives in like a $3 million house in like Orlando. He's like this huge famous rocker, and it's so funny because we reconnected on social media a few years ago, and he has like purple and blue hair, and he's all skinny now, and he's tattooed. It's just so funny to see how he changed and grew into his wonderful personality of who he is.
Wow. And you laid the foundation for that.
I helped him a little bit. You
You
could
helped him
say,
a
yeah, I
lot of
helped
it.
Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is hilarious. That kind of feeds into what you do now with being an image creator and
Yes.
shaping people's careers.
I love working with people. I love seeing the development of where something can start and to see the growth of it. That to me is the most incredible gift and is so fulfilling is to see someone live their dreams and to see them happen and see it grow. I it's priceless, you know. Money is wonderful, but to really see people elevate and grow into who they want to be, to me, is just incredible. And I wake up every morning happy with the people I work with. I keep my roster very small because I want to love everyone I work with and like to contact them and talk to them. I don't want to deal with people that I don't want to deal with and have to talk to people I don't like. So yeah, I'm very specific on keeping the roster small and really working with people that I can really mold and help grow and be everything they can be. I like seeing people in fashion, TV, and film. Living dreams are, the best thing ever. I mean, if we don't have dreams and if we don't have aspirations to be bigger and better than who we are today, what is life about? Let's take our lives to the next level. Let's dream bigger than we could ever dream. Let's think of things that we've never thought about being. We can be anything we want. Our minds are so incredible. And we have the power to be anything we want if we really believe in ourselves, if we really see it, foresee what you want to be, and it will happen because our lives are in our hands and we can be anything we want. So never give up on our dreams and keep dreaming until the day we die. Because the day we die is the day we stop dreaming is the day we will die.
I love that.
Wow, I'm inspired.
I know
I'm
that
gonna
was
chase
It's
my
about
dreams now.
inspiration. We
I
have to
know.
inspire each other
Yes.
because this world right now is not the most inspiring, but let's help build each other up. If you tell me you want to be president, look, I don't know how to be president, but if you believe in it, I'm on your dream and I'm going to help you build it. So, whatever I have to do to help make that dream come true, I'll learn what I need to learn, but let's build each stone and each brick one at a time, but really find your strength because when we love what we do, it's not work.
Mhm.
And every day is pleasure and fun to wake up and talk to people and build things. When you don't like what you do and you're working in something that you don't like, it's the most you can make millions of dollars and you'll be miserable. So try to find something that you really love in this world because that is the day you never have to work and you'll be so happy.
I have two questions for you. One is based on what you just said. I want to know what your next big dream is. What are you working toward now? But also, I when you were saying all of that, I feel like the obviously the common thread in your life is fashion, but so many
Mhm.
times you pivoted. You went from stylist to like reality star stylist to then becoming an owner of an agency. And like I want to know what who did you have to become, because that is the theme of our podcast, is who you had to become to achieve the things that you've achieved. So who did you have to become, or who did you become each time you made a pivot? And then also, what is your next big dream?
Well, pivots are important. I've had a lot of bad pivots too, a lot of bad decisions with bad business partners that I had to overcome. And that was very hard for me because I did everything with honesty and faith and hope. And I believed in maybe the wrong people. And that really took me down too, financially, emotionally, and painfully. But I had to rebuild. But when you believe in yourself and you know your honesty, you come out of it okay. And thank God I came out of it okay. It took me some time to rebuild and refocus my energy on what I wanted. And I never let it take me out because I know my heart was good and my mind was good. Even though people could say other things, I knew my truth, and the people who really knew me knew my truth. So you will have falters. Nothing is easy, and you'll have bad tribulations too. So I'm not saying nothing is easy. Things will happen that are amazing, like my styling career happened boom overnight. But then had bad complications with my agency. So some things don't always work out, and that's okay because life is about the ups and downs. But if you have the strength and you have your beliefs and you have your strong spirit of who you are, you will come out of it. So, what is my next step? My next step is continuing to build, continuing to grow, and help the next generation grow. I don't really know what that means exactly yet because I'm still figuring that out. If I had all the answers today, I maybe would be a trillionaire. So I'm still learning every day my new beliefs and my new truths. The world is changing so fast these days that you got to kind of figure it out too. It's like, oh, now about this, and now there's AI, and like, whoa. So I'm still trying to catch up to the new generation of AI and the new generation of this. So I know I want to continue to live within the world of fashion. I love the medium of TV and film, reality. I have a young actor that I'm working with now that we're trying to find financing for his film, which is an incredible film. We're actually looking at some incredible top A-list talent to maybe attach to it. I'm loving this process, working with an incredible young casting director. So maybe, hopefully, do some executive producing on TV shows or movies. Build, M22. Maybe take it into what right now it's a mother agency, and building the acting division. Just keep growing that. Who knows? I want to be limitless to my future, but I want to be happy, and I want to keep growing and giving back. That's what I can really say right now. I don't know exactly, but I just want to continue what I'm doing. Just going.
Love it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I think the fashion industry is changing so quickly.
So
Like the only
drastically. It's
way
like,
to stay in
so,
it is to
yeah.
be adaptable at this point.
You have to be adaptable, and you really have to be a jack. Before, you weren't a jack of all trades. You really should have been, a master of one. Now you've got to be a master of three or four things. There's not about to be a master of a few things these days. So it's a whole different medium. That's why, like, if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I could have said more like this. But now I don't know, and things are moving so quickly. Who the heck knows? I don't really know. It's very interesting, but I'm ready. I got my seatbelt fastened. I'm ready for the ride, and I'm ready to keep it going.
Are you excited about the ride and the journey as we evolve? Like we're literally in the
Oh,
middle of an evolution that is going
I
faster
am
than any of us can
always
process.
excited for the ride because I love life.
Yes.
I love people. Um, I love learning new things. Again, I love learning. I love excitement. I love meeting new people. I love learning all about the new futuristic things that are happening. Um, Hopefully, we will go back in time and bring back a different, maybe, aesthetic of beauty. I love how we did open up to a diverse culture of beauty. I love seeing all the beautiful, beautiful people of color on ethnicities on the runway. I do love that. We are so many beautiful people, so many beautiful countries, mixtures of people. We were a little bit stale just with one shade and one look. That's boring. I do love how we opened it up, the world, because that's what makes it exciting. And I just really like to bring back quality of things, and bring back, and not look, I love everybody, but not everyone can be a superstar. Superstars are unique people. Like, don't ask me to become a mechanic. I don't know how to change a tire. Okay? So, you know, lessons makes the modeling to some people, the acting to some people, and let us kind of, we can learn how to do everything, but let's really kind of like let the real powerful people shine and with their inner light come out. And I hope we can really give back and let the world just be a happier place and really let everyone live their dreams as best as possible.
I love that. I think we have to bring back a little bit more glamour. Like,
Yeah, a lot more, please.
and let's get rid of sweatpants.
You can wear them to the gym,
Yeah.
right?
Wear them to get the mail.
Literally.
Well, thank
That's
you
cute.
so much. This has been
Oh, thank you,
This has been
ladies. You
so
girls
good.
are
Do you
so
have any more
beautiful.
I was just going to say, is there anything we didn't ask you that we should have or that you think we missed out?
I think, no, I think, you know what? Let's just make this journey in life an incredible one. Thank you for allowing me to share my time with you. And I love what you girls are doing. So keep doing it. And Taylor, she knows she's very much of my heart. I adore her from when I first met her, and she's one of my favorite people. She's absolutely gorgeous inside and out. And I wish her very much the best in life. And it's a pleasure meeting you, beautiful
You also.
Miss Fiona. And I thank you both so much. And just keep watching out for me, and hopefully some exciting stuff will be happening.
Oh,
Yes,
always from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nole. It was
guys.
a pleasure.
Thank you.